Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back. Part 2 of talking about my Aunt Doris Gump and my Uncle Marty, or Martin Gump. Like I said, they had a son together. Of course, my Aunt Doris had Huffmans, my cousin John Huffman, my cousin Ronnie Huffman by another man. They're Huffman. I believe his name was John Huffman. If I'm wrong, I do apologize for that. But I didn't know the guy, but I just knew that their last name was Huffman. Of course, his last name was Gump. Nonetheless, they lived up on Pearl Avenue, I believe it was, or something or another. They had a coal furnace. John Huffman and my cousin John Huffman and Ronnie, they used to tell me and my cousin Sean, all of us, that Marty used to run around with his underwear on. Big Marty used to run around with his underwear on, going, "Doris, where's my," grab his cross, "Doris, where's my shoes? Where the my shoes, Doris? Where's my shoes?" Every time you go over there, they'd have something on the stove. They'd be cooking up some kind of weird concoction. At one point I looked in there. They was cooking some spaghetti, and in a spaghetti sauce they had big old chunks of tomatoes and big old huge chunks of cherry tomatoes and stuff like that. Some kind of stuff that I didn't even know what it was, and I didn't want to even ask what it was. So they was cooking up some weird kind of concoctions, and they were always drunk. They went to the Satellite Grill a lot, charged up a bar tab on the 3rd of the month. They get paid on the 3rd of the month, and they'd pay their bar tab off on the 3rd of the month, and they'd charge up again. Now, their bar tabs at one point was like $1,500 at one point, and my Aunt Doris had taken David Cease, which was her nephew. He had my Uncle Leroy's son, which is Aunt Doris, which is Grandma Idabo's brother, Uncle Leroy. They ended up she ended up having, after Big Marty had gotten to where he had cataracts and was getting old and decrepit or whatever, and he couldn't drive anymore, arthritis and everything kicked in. They basically she had called upon David Cease, of course, her nephew, my cousin, of course, my Uncle Leroy, which is her brother's son, so her nephew. Okay, anyway, she called on David Cease, and David would want gas money, plus he'd want like a 12-pack of Pepsi, whatever, to go do it. But they were obliged to go. She was obliged to go do it because the simple fact of the matter remains that she just wanted her beer. She was a big alcoholic, Aunt Doris was, and Marty was hanging out with a boy named Greg Phillips. Greg Phillips was a black male, and he had all kinds of different problems or whatever it was there that that he got Marty into trouble or whatever. And Aunt Doris would always call the cops, and Officer Mike would show up. Big heavy set guy. He'd show up. "You gotta do something about Greg Phillips. I don't know what to do. It's causing me all kinds of problems, and I don't know what to do." And she'd go off and talking out of her mind when she was drunk. And Officer Mike would be like, "You know what, Doris, Mrs. Gump?" He's like, "You call us every single time. You want Greg Phillips out of your house. You want these kids out of your house, and then all of a sudden, here you go again. You're letting them back in your house again. Don't call us no more. We don't want to hear about it." Nonetheless, like I said, they charged up bar tabs and everything else, and she even charged up a bill over at the Fast and Friendly store right across the street from the Satellite Grill. There on 9th and Tremont is where the Fast and Friendly and Satellite Grill was. Like I said, they were regular customers there at the Satellite Grill, and there's a lot of other stories I could go down memory lane with about Aunt Doris, and I'll just stick to what I'm saying right now. And the reason why Uncle Marty had gotten to the point where he decided that he wasn't going to drive anymore, he got pulled over for driving too slow. He was driving about 5-10 mile an hour, riding the brakes, going up the Tremont Viaduct, and the police pulled him over, told him he was going too slow, and they gave him a ticket. So that was pretty much the end of his driving there after that situation, and he used to do that all the time. But they used to drink Busch beer, Busch and Blatz beer. Funny times nonetheless with Aunt Doris. Oh boy, she was something. Let me talk to you. Get on Papa's shit list real quick. And I'm gonna see you, Lori, you love it. Come give your Aunt Doris a kiss. I don't think so. We never did give her a kiss. We always ran the other way. Oh, good old Aunt Doris. Come here, give your Aunt Doris a kiss. Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. I'll catch you next time.